In the heart of Nairobi, where skyscrapers kissed the sky and luxury cars roamed the streets, two young women, Amani and Zuri, had been inseparable since childhood. Their friendship was legendary, a bond that had survived school, heartbreaks, and countless late-night gossip sessions over ice cream and wine. Amani was the kind of woman people gravitated toward. She had a natural elegance, a warm smile, and a heart so pure it made her seem almost unreal. She wasn't just beautiful, she had grace, intelligence, and kindness. It wasn't surprising that she had captured the heart of Jabari Mugambi, the handsome and ridiculously wealthy heir to the Mugambi group. Zuri, on the other hand, was bold, ambitious, and effortlessly charming. She had a sharp wit and a magnetic personality that could turn heads in any room. But beneath her confidence, she carried a secret envy, a longing for the kind of love and life that Amani had. Jabari wasn't just rich, he was a walking dream. He was tall, well-groomed, and had a smile that could make even the most independent woman rethink her priorities. More than that, he was kind, thoughtful, and completely devoted to Amani. The three often spent time together, with Zuri playing the role of the fun, supportive best friend. But deep inside, every time she saw Amani laughing in Jabari's arms, she felt something clawing at her heart. She hid it well, of course. She loved Amani, but she also wanted more for herself, more than just being the sidekick in someone else's love story. One evening, at an upscale restaurant, Jabari had planned a surprise for Amani. As Zuri watched from across the table, he pulled out a diamond bracelet, delicately placing it on Amani's wrist. "A reminder of how much I love you," he whispered. Amani beamed, her eyes glistening with joy. Zuri smiled, but inside, something twisted. That should be me, she thought. She shook the thought away. Amani was her best friend. She should be happy for her. And yet, as she took a sip of her wine, the taste was bitter. As days passed, envy grew like a seedling in fertile soil. She watched as Jabari showered Amani with love and devotion. Envy is like a fire. The more you feed it, the greater it burns. African proverb. Zuri was tired of being the best friend in the background. She wanted to take the lead in the story. She wanted Jabari. One night, she sought out an old woman known for her mysterious potions. "I need something to make a man forget his love for another," she whispered. The old woman chuckled. "A love stolen is a love cursed. Are you ready for what follows?" Blinded by greed, Zuri didn't hesitate. She had waited too long. It was time to change her destiny. The betrayal. Zuri followed the old woman's instructions and slipped the potion into Jabari's drink at a social event. Slowly, his behavior began to change. He grew distant from Amani, questioning his love for her. Zuri played the role of the concerned best friend while secretly fueling his doubts. Eventually, Jabari broke up with Amani, leaving her heartbroken. Even the moon knows that betrayal is never the end. It is only the beginning of sorrow. African proverb. Amani struggled to cope, drowning in sadness while Zuri strategically placed herself in Jabari's life. Under the potion's influence, he began to develop feelings for Zuri and, before long, confessed to her. When Amani learned of Jabari and Zuri's relationship through social media, her heart shattered. The betrayal cut deeper than any blade. Time passed, and Zuri got everything she wanted. Jabari proposed, and they had an extravagant wedding. But happiness built on lies is like a house built on sand. It cannot stand the test of time. The curse unfolds. Shortly after their wedding, things began to change. Jabari started having nightmares, visions of Amani, and a life he couldn't remember clearly. His love for Zuri began to fade like a distant memory. Zuri, now pregnant, believed she had won, but Jabari, feeling empty, grew distant. Regret took root in his heart. A river that forgets its source will soon run dry. African proverb. One day, Jabari confronted Zuri. I don't love you, Zuri. I never did. Something clouded my mind, but I see clearly now. I made a mistake. Zuri's world crumbled. She had everything, yet she had nothing. Jabari filed for divorce, leaving her alone with the child. Meanwhile, Amani, though deeply wounded, chose a different path. She found healing in self-love and growth. She rebuilt her life, proving that pain does not define a person, resilience does. When Jabari sought her out, pleading for forgiveness, she listened, but did not let her past dictate her future. When the heart has healed, it no longer bleeds for the wounds of yesterday. African proverb. Zuri, left with her shame and loneliness, finally understood the old woman's warning. A love stolen is a love cursed. She had betrayed the one person who had truly loved her, and in the end, she lost everything. Moral of the story. What is meant for you will never require deceit to obtain. Betrayal never brings lasting joy. It only delays the pain. Greed and jealousy will only dig your own grave. A good name is better than riches. Once lost, it is difficult to regain. And so, Amani moved forward wiser and stronger, proving that sometimes the best revenge is simply thriving.